Hello everyone, welcome back again to Liverpool Report today. We've got the latest updates on our beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of Liverpool Report news. Let's get started. Liverpool could have the next Sergio Busquets on their hands, with 20-year-old prospect Stefan Bajcetic earning comparisons to the Barcelona legend during his loan spell at Las Palmas. Bajcetic only joined Las Palmas in the January transfer window after a disappointing stint at Red Bull Salzburg, but the midfielder has impressed in his 7 La Liga appearances so far. Bajcetic broke into Liverpool's first team as a teenager in 2022, but several serious injury problems derailed his progress, and a loan move to Salzburg was meant to rejuvenate his career. However, he managed just one full 90 minutes at Salzburg, and the loan came to a premature end, allowing him to join Las Palmas. And since returning to Spain, Bajcetic has thrived with only a small number of players having made more tackles, blocks, interceptions or aerial wins than him per 90 minutes in La Liga. As a result, Bajcetic has been likened to 3-time Champions League winner Busquets. He reminds me of Sergio Busquets because of how he drives the ball and how he moves around the field, Spanish journalist Manuel Garcia told the Daily Mail. It is not the first time Bajcetic has been compared to Busquets, with former Celta Vigo Academy director Alex Otero telling the Liverpool Echo back in 2023, "He reminds me of Sergio Busquets, the best Busquets of many years ago. He would only play in the midfield and the other players attacked. But Stefan has other qualities different to Busquets. He likes to advance into the opposition box and support attacks. Stefan can play number 8, not just number 6. I say Busquets because he was one of the best midfielders in the national team with Spain, but Stefan has a different future to Busquets. At the top level, I'm sure. For me, Stefan is a player that is better suited to the Premier League than La Liga. In Spain, it's very slow, but the Premier League is very fast-paced, end-to-end, and with a higher intensity that suits Stefan's conditions. His legs are incredible, the capacity he has to turn and explode away from the opponents. His first, second and third touches in small situations too are incredible. It remains to be seen whether Bajcetic will have a role to play at Liverpool next season, but Reds boss Arneslot is a big fan of the youngster. I hope it will be a big year for him, because he's a very talented player, Slot said in August. I think he could become a very important player for us, but only if he gets playing time now. If you are that young and you've been out for so long, the only thing you need is playing time. He could have playing time over here, but we've got 6 or 7 very good midfielders, so his playing time here will always be more limited. This club has been smart, in my opinion, in the past for not only looking for the short term but also the long term. It's a smart decision, at least in our opinion, to let him go somewhere where he will hopefully play a lot of games. Then for next season we'll have a player. If he fulfills his potential, he could definitely play for us in the future. Marco Materazzi has hailed Virgil van Dijk as the best defender in the world today. But the 2006 World Cup winner insists the Liverpool captain wouldn't have held the same title during his own playing days. A titles and a historic treble under Jose Mourinho. He is notorious for baiting Zinedine Zidane into a headbutt during the 2006 World Cup final, which led to the France legend's sending off and Italy's triumph. The tough tackling and highly aggressive centre-half also spent a season with Everton in the 1998-99 campaign, where he racked up 3 red cards in just 27 appearances. He has kept an eye on all things Merseyside since, having been left especially impressed by Van Dijk's performances for the Reds. Appearing on the Rio Ferdinand Presents podcast, presented by Qatar Airways, he ranked the Dutch defender above all current centre-backs. Van Dijk for me, he stated. Because he's strong, he's fast, he has personality, he's a captain. All people follow him. For me, it's very important. But despite all of his praise, the 51-year-old named his own idol and former international teammate AC Milan and Lazio icon Alessandro Nesta as a better centre-back than Van Dijk. Materazzi revealed I had one idol. It was Nesta. Nesta was, for me, the best when I was 21 years old. Before, maybe Marco van Basten, because I loved him. He was an amazing striker. But after, I tried to watch Sandro Nesta. He was my idol. Also, when we played together, for me, it was not easy. because I played with my idol. I had an emotional problem with him, because in my opinion, he was one of the best. When quizzed by Ferdinand on whether Nesta would be the best defender in today's game, and if he was better than Van Dijk and Real Madrid's Antonio Rudiger, Materazzi replied, "I think so. Paolo Maldini too, but, for me, Nesta by a little bit was better than Maldini." Van Dijk being mentioned in the same bracket as legendary World Cup and Champions League winners is indicative of the level he has reached in football. Since his Liverpool transfer from Southampton in 2018, Van Dijk's name has become world-renowned for his deceptive pace, defensive prowess, leadership, expert tackling and ball-playing ability. Now in his 8th season at Liverpool and having taken over as captain last year, Van Dijk is poised to lift another Premier League title, adding to his already impressive collection that includes FA Cup, EFL Cup, Champions League and FIFA Club World Cup winners' medals. The international break has come at a good time for Darwin Nunez, who is delighted to get away from his struggles at Liverpool to play for Uruguay. Liverpool have endured a miserable period with their exit from the Champions League at the hands of Paris Saint-Germain, followed by the Carabao Cup final defeat by Newcastle on Sunday. Nunez played only a minor role in both games, coming off the substitutes bench, but without making an impact. Nunez has contributed 7 goals in 41 appearances across all competitions for Liverpool this season. He has struggled for consistency under Arneslot, who has been reluctant to start him regularly, and there have been rumours that he could be sold in the summer transfer window. The 25-year-old forward is therefore more than happy to be whisked away to play for his country, who face Argentina and Bolivia in World Cup qualifiers. After touching down at Carrasco International Airport in Uruguay, Nunez spoke to the local media, where he lamented the fact the ball doesn't want to go in. To forget a little about what's happening there. And besides, there's nothing more beautiful for a player than wearing your country's jersey, he told El Pais of his motivation for the matches. I'm happy thinking about the national team, enjoying every minute with it. These are moments that one goes through in football, and as I said recently, I'm not someone who throws in the towel because they don't play, but rather I'm going to keep working so I can play. I know I'm not performing as well as I should. It's difficult because when you're doing well, like when I came on against PSG, your confidence changes, with the idea of being able to break it in the next match. But then you get a slump, and I'm always there to help my teammates when I come back to the national team. Nunez's crucial penalty miss in the shootout against PSG last week summed up his recent difficulties with Liverpool. Slot has preferred to play Diogo Jota as his side's central striker, with Nunez only starting 8 Premier League games this season. The Dutchman was critical of Nunez's unacceptable work rate after games against Wolves and Aston Villa, but claimed he was back to being the normal Darwin after he set up Harvey-Elliott's goal in the first leg against PSG. Nunez will hope he can perform well for Marcelo Bielsa and Uruguay in the coming days before returning to Merseyside. Liverpool are 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League and will have to get themselves ready for the Merseyside derby against Everton on April 2nd, before a difficult trip to face Fulham at Craven Cottage 4 days later.